Hello, humans. Hey, alright, so why Barak in Hebrews 11 and why not Deborah? That's a fair question. That's a good question. So, if you have not yet seen the video I posted about genealogy, I recommend you watch that because I explained how the Bible uses compressed summaries rather than exact and exhaustive, complete chronologies. So, there's summaries of lists is usually what's going on here. And in that video, I actually briefly addressed your question. I stated in Hebrews 11, the Hall of Faith, it lists only a few people as a great people of faith. However, it's unreasonable to assume that there were not others who are also full of faith. In fact, Hebrews 11:32-40 admits that other faithful people do exist, but that time and space would not permit the writing of them all. Now, it is evident that not all faithful people were mentioned. I mean, we can know this for certain because David's 3 mighty men, they're not listed in the Hall of Faith when they most certainly should be, if you read that story. But in compressed summaries, some people get left out of lists. It happens. However, why should Barak, Samson, and Jephthah be listed among the great men of faith, such as Abraham, Moses, and Joseph? After all, they did fail in many ways, whereas Deborah and Jael were clearly mighty warriors of faith. Now, it is true that Barak did not want to go to war without Deborah, and that showed a lack of leadership, for sure. Also, Samson obviously had a problem with lust for women, and Jephthah negotiated with the Ammonites, which he should not have done. Yet, none of these acts necessarily exclude these men from being listed for their faith. Now, as Paul wrote, look, all have sinned, they fall short of the glory of God. Now, this is true even of others mentioned in the great list of faith. Abraham lied about Sarah being his wife. Moses killed a man. And though David was a man after God's own heart, he had so much faith, but unfortunately he will always be remembered for his adulterous affair with Bathsheba and his murderous plot against Uriah. But what separates these men from other individuals was their faith, not their failures. So, for example, even after Samson's failures and his fall, he had the faith to cry out to God in his last moments alive. But why the author of Hebrews mentions Barak and not Deborah, I don't know. But Judges chapters 4-5 clearly highlights Deborah as being a judge and a prophetess, and she was clearly amazing. Her and Jael, both those women, they were like, if you can't handle my Judges 4, you don't deserve my Proverbs 31. Pow! Listen, Hebrews 11:6 says, without faith it is impossible to please him, for he who comes to God must believe that he is, and he's a rewarder of those who seek him. So the real question is this: if a new list were to be created and written today, do you believe that your name would be among the people of great faith? Why or why not? And if not, how could you change the way you live today so you end up in this list of great faith tomorrow?